Hurrah! We are live. Yes. Today we are focusing on the gift of the present, and it can be really, really hard at any point in time in our lives to be in the moment for whatever reason, especially in a world and a society where violence and hatred and celebrity and notoriety are exalted, not just condoned. Today, we're going to take a moment to give ourselves the opportunity to choose our response to what is going on around us and what is going on in our body. So, we will focus on being present through a variety of methodologies, if you will: breath work, body scan, movement, drishti, so your single point of focus. All of these things can support being present and experiencing the moment. They say it takes about 10,000 hours for you to master something. So imagine, for however old we each are, how many hours we might have spent feeling guilty or sarcastic or angry or hatred, or experiencing negative emotions, or cultivating negative emotions and responses. It's very possible we have reached our 10,000 hour mark on some of those. So now's an opportunity to make a choice for this practice, maybe only one moment at a time, to choose joy in the face of sadness, compassion in the face of hatred, and even love in the face of violence. So, offering this up to you. My name is Karen, coming to you from Vermont, Salt and Sand Studios. It's great to be here with you. Sorry I started a couple minutes late. We are actually going to start on our back with some movement before we move into a body scan. So hopefully everyone can hear me and see me. We're going to find our way onto our backs. If you need to bend your knees or place a prop underneath your knees, feel free. We're going to lift the arms overhead so the backs of the hands maybe are connected to the earth. If they are not connected to the earth, perhaps you move into a cactus shape with your arms. Just finding a little bit of opening in the chest and the heart. We're going to tilt the tailbone up a little bit. And then if your knees are not bent, go ahead and bend them. Bring your feet as wide as your mat and drop your knees in to meet one another. Stay here for a moment. Feel the belly. Feel the opening in the underarms across the shoulders. Tuck your chin toward your chest and press the back of the head back to the earth. Big, huge breath in. And a full breath out. You can bring now a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. Our single point of focus for a moment will be our breath before we move into some movement. Move into movement. We're going to move into movement. See if you can soften the shoulders up and back, almost as if water were rolling from the chest back to the mat, draping the shoulders downward. Start to feel the breath without efforting it. Deepen your breath so that the belly expands 360 degrees all the way around the body. Take two more of those big belly breaths. It's like the rib cage is just getting touched by the breath. Notice whatever you notice, the movement of the belly, the freshness of the air, any air. We're going to deepen that breath now. First expanding the belly on the inhale, and then expanding the lungs, the rib cage, all the way around the body. Maybe the heart lifts with it. Your cadence, two more breaths. This is an inner focus, an inner drishti. Then return to a natural breath. Take notice of anything that might have changed, or maybe something you just notice more in the body that you weren't noticing at all before, or maybe it's new. Might be a little softness, or maybe there's a little ache. And whatever it is, allow it to be. As Pema Chodron likes to say, stay with it. Notice it and stay. 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 Drop your hands by your sides. They might come a little wide. Maybe they're out in a T, the palms face up, and very gently with the knees sort of aiming for one another. You're going to windshield wiper the legs left and right. That's a verb, windshield wiper. And take your time. Feel where you feel this. Is it in a hip or across the low back? Maybe you feel it in the belly. Draw the navel toward the spine, even as you take this little torso twist. And then pause with the knees pointing toward the sky and bring the feet a little bit closer together. The right knee hugs in toward your chest. You give it a good squeeze. Ankle circles, take the foot in one direction, 3 or 5 rotations. Keep pressing the big toe mound of the left foot into the earth. And then ankle circles in the opposite direction. Seeing if you can simultaneously compress the belly with your thigh. Open and close the toes. Feel what that feels like, not something we often do. We're going to go ahead and extend the leg toward the sky. The hands can come behind your thigh or your calf if you're feeling particularly stretchy up by the ankle. Maybe the left leg extends onto the earth and the toes will point back toward you. Feel what you feel, where you feel it. Just find one spot. The heel, the back of the thigh. Draw your knee back in toward your chest and then create circles in the air with the knee. We're starting to open up the hip here. Take those circles in the opposite direction. As wide or as narrow as it feels right. Then we're going to move into a half happy baby. I'm going to bend my left knee to do that. The right knee comes in toward the right armpit. The hand reaches for the outer edge of the foot. And then it's as if while you stretch the hip, you're stepping on the clouds. Maybe you do something else with your left hand and take a moment here to focus on the gift of this posture in this moment. Maybe feeling the opening and the inner thigh or the outer thigh, and sticking with it, allowing it to be, breathing into it. Gently cross the right ankle above the left knee and activate that right foot. If you like, you can move into a full supine figure 4 by drawing the left knee toward your left armpit. Activating both feet, taking a hold of the back of the left thigh with both hands. Drop the shoulders, find your breath. The right elbow can help move that right thigh and knee away and down. Gently place the left foot on the mat and then the right foot on the mat. Extend the arms above the head and the legs down onto the mat. And see if you can scoot your feet and your hands over toward the right. So you're making a little sort of crescent moon shape. So your head's moving, your shoulders, your legs, and your hands. Big breath in as you drop the head down. Complete breath out. Inhale, come tall with the spine as straight as it would normally be again. And exhale, make that crescent moon shape on the other side. A supine crescent moon. Once you're in your spot, big breath in. And let it go. Inhale, come straighter, top to bottom. This time, soles of the feet glide back to the floor and the left knee hugs in toward the chest. A loving squeeze, checking out where the right foot is. So we take some ankle circles with the left ankle. 3 to 5 in the first direction, 3 to 5 in the opposite. Check in that your neck is nice and long. You're not moving toward the top of the head on the earth, but rather the back of the head. Open and close the toes. Press the big toe out of the right foot into the earth so we're not having a lazy leg. And then we find knee circles. Hand can be on your belly, right hand can be on your belly, left hand on your knee. Take your time. Start to feel the contrast perhaps of this hip opening from the other side. That's not good, it's not bad, neither black nor white, not positive, not negative, just different. Knee hugs into the chest, leg extends toward the sky, hands behind your thigh, your calf, or on your ankle, or maybe even you're stretchy enough to reach your toes. I'm going to go ahead and alternate between pointing my toes and reaching my heel toward the sky. Again, checking in with the right foot to make sure it's firmly planted, almost as if it's Velcroed to the floor. So you're using your glutes a little bit, you're using your inner thighs to make sure that right knee is pointing toward the sky. Knee in toward the chest once again. Half happy baby here. Cross the left ankle above the right knee. Finding your supine figure 4, maybe gathering that right thigh and knee in toward the right armpit. And noticing what you notice. Finding the experience of this moment and staying with it, whatever that might be. An opening, a tightness, a freedom. The sole of the right foot plants, the left foot meets it. Bring the arms into a cactus shape. Maybe it's the second cactus shape for you of today's practice. And see if you can begin to tilt the tailbone upward. You might spread the feet a little wider. Press the shoulder blades into the earth so the center of the spine is lifting off the earth. Imagine the heart is shining above your head. And breathe here for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands to your heart. You can stack them. And if you like, you might extend your legs onto the mat or maybe find a Supta Baddha Konasana shape with the soles of the feet together and the knees outward. Bring to mind an aspiration or something to set the tone for that you'll stay with.
Maybe that is calm or focus on the breath or openness to whatever arises in this practice. Maybe it's finding joy. And because there are so many suffering humans in the world, that is part of our condition, maybe consider to whom you'd like to dedicate this class. The merits that you will share with that being or beings. Drop your hands by your sides, your palms face up. We're going to be in this posture or a posture of your choosing for a few minutes as we conduct a body scan. So maybe you move into more of a Shavasana-like posture. Wherever you are, scoot one shoulder blade at a time toward the hip on the same side. Just finding a little space in the chest. Take a huge breath in through the nose. And a full breath out. Breath being one of the most prominent ways to stay in the moment. We're now going to move into a body scan, also a wonderful way to find the gift of the present, focusing on the sensory experience alone. Non-thinking, non-analyzing, non-verbalizing. Knowing that because we're human, something will probably pop into our heads. So if that's part of experiencing the moment, allow it to happen. We'll start with the right toes. Just noticing the big toe all the way to the little toe. And anything that is bringing sensory experience into play. Maybe it's the temperature of the air. You can feel two toes touching each other. Notice now the sole of the foot. What do you feel there? The top of the foot. Perhaps the heaviness of the heel. And without changing anything, what do you feel in your right ankle? The lower leg. The knee, maybe you consider a 360-degree view of the kneecap, the back of the knee, inside the knee. What do you feel in the right thigh? The hip. Low belly. The rib cage on the right side, front, side, and back. Anything you're experiencing, expansiveness, tightness. Maybe you feel the breath in there. Right side of the chest. The throat. Right shoulder. The upper arm. Inside of the right elbow. The lower arm. Just noticing. The wrist. Palm of the thumb. Palm of the hand. The thumb. And all the fingers. Contrast what you feel in the right fingers with what you feel in the left. Maybe they feel the same. Maybe what you're feeling is the air or the level of relaxation, or maybe there's a twitch. Left thumb. Left palm. The wrist. Lower arm. Inside the elbow. Upper arm. A shoulder. Left side of the chest. Now the rib cage. Lower belly. The left hip. Thigh. All the way around and inside the knee. What do you notice? What do you sense? What do you experience? Lower leg. The left ankle. Heel. Top of the foot. Sole of the foot. And notice your toes. Take a nice big, huge, generous breath in. And let it go. Bring the soles of the feet back to the earth. Come all the way onto the left side of the body. So the knees come over to the right, and the right palm is connected to the left. With a heavy head, draw yourself up to a seat and find your way into a child's pose. Nice, comforting, focused body scan. Now we'll move into focused movement using our drishti, our single point of visual focus. Sitting bones come back toward the heels, arms are long, spine is long, forehead is on the earth. Complete full breath in and release. We'll draw to a tabletop, but long in length because we're going to tuck our toes under. Fingers are nice and wide here. We're going to just shift the knees off the mat by a couple of inches. So we send the sitting bones toward the heels, like a little, almost like a little runner's crouch. Although I'm not a runner, so I can't really say. Slowly come into downward dog and allow yourself to pedal things out. Feeling a little yumminess in the calves, the power in the chest and the shoulders, a lift of the belly, a lift of the sitting bones. The left foot sneaks a little bit to the right so you can float the right leg high. Press the chest toward the thighs, reach that right heel, and slowly draw the right knee above the right elbow. Inhale, extend the leg back out, three-legged dog. And place the foot on the mat. We shift to bring the left foot a little to the left and then the right foot a little bit to the left, sort of centered left and right. And we float the left leg high, three-legged dog. Chest toward the thighs, left reaching. Exhale, knee draws above the left elbow. Inhale, extend. Drop the foot to the mat. Give a little more space between the feet. We're going to find a forward fold, but at the back of the mat. So walk the hands toward your feet. You might need to bend the knees a lot to get the heels to draw toward the earth. You're going to find here any bind that your body guides you to. Maybe it's a rag doll or hands clasped behind the head, a yogi toe lock. Loosen the head. Feel where you're sensing something. For me, my nose is really stuffy. Release the hands to the earth and find a little sway. Stillness now. Check that the feet are parallel to the earth and glide the hands to the shins for your halfway lift. Stay here for the breath out. Another cycle of breath. Next exhale, release to the earth. Super slowly, like you're glued to the floor. Unravel all the way to standing. Arms and head super heavy. Meet me in mountain pose, where I'm going to remove my outer layer. Mountain pose. Picturing all the beauty of the mountains that are closest to you, and maybe you're on a beach, so maybe they're far away. And the incredible power of the mountains. Strong, stable, sturdy, but in part due to the fact that they can move with what is going on around them. Close the eyes, sweep your arms out wide, palms face forward. Fingers nice and wide. And we create circles with the arms, very small to start with. Take that in the other direction. Medium-sized circles in the first direction. Medium-sized circles in the second direction. Large Papa Bear circles or Saturn-sized circles in the first direction. And then in the opposite direction. Arms lift up overhead. Hands to your heart, Samasthihi. Eyes closed, and we notice what we notice on the soles of the feet. Maybe you're not utilizing all the edges of your feet. So perhaps you find a little rock forward and backward, left and right. Maybe the feet shift a little bit, and you can feel the groundedness of your feet connected, as if gravity is holding you down. Hands can drop by your sides. Sweep them out and up. Take a hold of the left wrist with the right fingertips. We stay here for a moment to give a little tug and get nice and tall. Draw your tailbone forward. There's a little softness in the knees. And then a tilt over to the right. Don't have to come very far. We don't want to jut the left hip way out, causing the right knee to bend. But rather, we want to stretch that left side of the body and lift the heart to the sky. You might even drop the right hand if that helps you find some momentum. That allows me personally to open up my left armpit a little bit more. And maybe your gaze, your drishti, single point of focus, moves upward toward the left arm or wrist or thumb. As you rise up, clasp your hands, intertwining the fingers, and press the palms to the sky. Take a chair pose here. And then go ahead and draw the palms forward, lengthening the arms, scooping the belly in and dropping your head. You're rounding your spine. Inhale, rise up, palms to the sky. Release the grasp and take a hold of the right wrist with the left fingertips. This time a little tug to open up the torso on both sides. Exhale, tilt over to the left. Maybe the left hand drops, finding a little bit more space. We find ourselves present in our gaze by lifting it upward. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands to your heart. If for balance you require a wall, go ahead and find your way there. We're just going to take a very gentle, simple balance here. Shifting weight into the right foot, our single point of focus, about 8 feet in front of us and down. And then the left knee lifts off the mat. We activate the left foot. And then if it works for you, keep the shape of the leg and the foot and draw the left knee to meet the right. Use your hamstrings and your glutes. Draw the knee back up. Drop the foot to the earth. Adjust if you need to. And we're going to go ahead and point the left toes to the left. So we're going to take a little sort of dancer step, touching the ground with the left toes out to the left. We're going to use the thigh and the glutes to lift that leg upward. Maybe do a couple of toe taps. And then we're going to find our way back to standing. If you need it, shake it out a little. We'll take it to the other side. If you need to turn around to find your wall, feel free. So weight shifts into the left leg. Right knee lifts, foot activates. Use the belly. Squeeze the left glutes. Keep the leg shape, draw the right knee toward the left. If you fall out of it, guess what? It's just yoga. As soon as I said fall out of it, I fell out of it. Knee lifts back up. The foot returns to the ground. The leg lengthens out to the right with the right toes, big toe touching. We use the glutes and the thighs to slowly lift that leg. And then maybe a couple of toe taps up and down. And the foot returns. Hands drop, shake it out. Arms lift overhead. We find our chair pose, Utkatasana. Yes, we're doing a lot at the back of the mat today. I'm kind of enjoying that. My nice red carpet rolled out in front of me. Arms overhead, draw the tailbone down, sink a little more into your seat. Rise up to your tiptoes if you can. Stay with the heels lifted and sink your bottom down a little bit more. Finding balance, imagining that you are grabbing a block between your thighs. See if you can stay low and bring your heels back to the earth. Here we're going to take a twist, hands to the heart. And if you like, you can work your left elbow outside your right thigh. Otherwise, you can twist with a little bit of a taller spine. If you bring the left elbow outside the right thigh, maybe you make a fist of the left hand and cover it like a piece of cheese with your right hand. Elbows point down and up, and we twist here. Gently come long in the spine towards center and twist to the other side. Gently draw to center and find your forward fold. Halfway lift. And fold. Log flat back, Ardha Uttanasana, half lift again. Stay for the breath out. Breathe in, long in the spine. Breathe out and fold. Inhale, float to standing. Arms sweep wide and high. Once again, we fold over the legs, only to find our halfway lift. And another fold. Rise up, rooting to rise, rooting to stand strong in the legs like a tree. Exhale, hands to your heart. We're going to move forward on the mat. We're going to do so touching down the toes of each foot first before the arch and then the heel. So taking your time in a very meditative, being present way, feeling what you feel with each slow step. And once you make it to the front of the mat, arms lift to find a fold. To your half lift, to your forward fold and a runner's lunge with the left foot at the back of the mat. Take your time finding a nice long stride here. Maybe shifting the right foot out to the right. Back knee drops to the earth. Left hand down, right arm higher, twist. We sink the pelvis forward as opposed to downward. And we rotate the navel around the spine to find the twist. As you come toward the center, right hand on the right thigh, press the shoulders over the hips and float the left arm high. We're going to take a tilt over to the right again. So if you need more balance help, you might move the foot out to the right. Press more energy into the heel of the front foot and the shoelace side of the back foot. Then lift up your full Anjaneyasana. Moving into a half split, hands frame your front foot. The right leg gets long. Ideally, if you're not super stretching in your hamstrings, the left hip is going to be remaining over the left knee. Otherwise, it's a little harder. Imagine you're dragging the mat back with that right heel, sort of tractioning the heel of the front foot and the knee of the back leg together. Heart lifting, spine long. We'll move into Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. So the sole of the right foot returns to the earth. Back toes tuck under so your hips can lift high. And the back foot hikes partway up the mat until both feet are fully on the mat. You might need props. You can use pillows under your hands. We really want to work the hips nice and square. So pressing especially into the ball of the front foot and the heel of the back foot and letting the head drop. Power up that back leg. Step up left foot to right. Unravel to standing. Arms reach up, tickling the stars, and your forward fold. Lift halfway, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale for your fold, and the right foot glides to the back of the mat for your runner's lunge. Taking your time to set this up, nice long stride. Working for your balance before the right knee drops. Untuck those right toes, float the left arm high, find your twist. Left hand to your left thigh, rise up, shoulders over the hips. Right arm floats upward, and we take a tilt over to the left. Finding the gift right in this moment, in this posture. Maybe it's an opening of your right hip flexor. Maybe you feel it in the heart. Both arms up for your back bend. I'm going to go ahead and find cactus shape arms because that aids as I tuck the tailbone.
half split, your cadence to move into it, allowing your experience to take place. As long a spine as you can, navel draws toward the vertebra. Parsvottanasana, pyramid pose. Left foot down, right toes tuck, hips float high, back foot steps up about a step. We traction the feet toward one another, maybe finding another halfway lift before we fully fold into pyramid pose. Powering up that back leg by pressing into the outer heel, gathering up the energy from the ball of the front foot all the way to the hip crease. Back foot steps up to meet the front, float to standing. One more time, Utkatasana. Feel free to take cactus shape arms here. Chair pose. Shifting onto the right foot, coming to the left tippy toes, or maybe lifting that left knee toward the chest. We drop the left foot, shifting in the opposite way. Hands interlace behind your low back. Open up the heart, tuck the tailbone, gather the belly in. Sink a little deeper. Collarbone smiling like a human emoji. And we find a fold, tucking the chin a little bit. Bent knees if need be. Maybe the hands float from the spine. Maybe they do not. Hands release only to find your half lift. Exhale for your forward fold. We're going to step back for a high plank. I'm going to move my blocks out of the way. And drop the knees to the earth. Move into a half pigeon by bringing the right knee behind the right wrist. You might use your left hand to bring your right shin as parallel to the front of the mat as possible. Then scoot that left leg along straight out of the hip by tucking your left toes under and moving the heel away from you. If you need a prop here because the right glutes are off the mat, find something to place underneath. And your fold. We'll only stay here for a few breaths so that we can take the other side before we close out our practice. Shoulders are soft. And we stay with whatever sense, whatever experience is happening in the physical body. Hands plant. Prop gets removed. Tuck your left toes under to lift the left knee off the mat so you can scoot your right leg long into a high plank. Tabletop. Left knee toward the left wrist. Adjusting as you need to bring the left shin potentially parallel to the front of the mat. Right leg extends, extends, extends. Prop it if you need it. And a fold. One at a time, hands placed under your shoulders. Today, we're going to end with child's pose. Very protective pose where you can create your vulnerability and acknowledge your vulnerability in the heart and in the head without exposing to the elements, as it were. So find your way into either Balasana 1 or Balasana 2. If you take Balasana 1 with knees closed, you're going to bring the top of the head to the earth rather than the forehead to the earth. And scoot your arms around by your sides until your hands connect with your legs or your feet. If you prefer the wide-legged version, take that. Big, huge breath in. Complete breath out. Soften the shoulders. Notice what you notice here. Maybe it's a connection with the earth. Maybe it's the air on the back of your neck or the soles of your feet. Return to that which you're cultivating, your intention. Whether that was something aspirational or something just for this practice. Settle back into it. Notice how it kind of feels in the body. Big breath in. Let it go. Find your way to a seat. You're welcome to sit on your heels if that works for you. Or come into Sukhasana, easy pose. Hands can be on your thighs, your knees, or in your lap. Belly draws in and up. Tailbone points down. Collarbones are wide. Chin a teeny bit tucked. Now picture the being or beings to whom you dedicated your practice. If it's a group of beings or a country, or maybe it's all beings throughout the world or the universe. You might find some visual representation in your mind for that. We'll use a chant of Om to share our intentions, the merits of this practice outward to touch each and every one of those individual beings with whatever intention, whatever positive aspect you are cultivating. Mix with your life force, your beautiful breath, the merits of this practice. The palms pressed together at the heart as if they found their home there. Thumb knuckles moving in toward the heart as the heart moves toward the thumbs. We breathe all the air out of our lungs. Take a full breath in. Thumb knuckles connect with your forehead. May kindness, compassion, and joy comprise your thoughts. Thumb knuckles to your lips. May kindness, compassion, and joy ride on your words. Thumb knuckles to your heart. May kindness, compassion, and joy be in your heart and in your actions. Thumb knuckles to the forehead once again, so we can honor one another, the practice that brings us together, and the merits of this practice by bowing. Namaste. Thank you for the gift of this moment and the moments that came before and the moments that come after. Hope you have a fantastic remainder of your day. My name is Karen. If you have opportunity to donate, feel free. But this is a practice for everyone and everybody. Great to be with you. See you soon.